On Being Bold is a collective of female business leaders who are about inspiring women to follow their business dreams. As part of that, they're putting on a conference aimed at Year 13 girls called Dreaming Big. It's about getting teenagers to aim for the sky with their business aspirations. And joining me this morning is Dame Joan Withers, Chair of the Warehouse Group, Director at Sky TV, Director at ANZ, Director of Origin Energy. I mean, the list goes on and on. Good morning, nice to have you here.
Thank you, Ryan, lovely to be here.
Tell me what's behind this initiative?
So On Being Bold was formed back in 2016 and really was the result of a conversation between Dame Therese Walsh and myself. And we were talking about the fact that we so often got asked by other women to have a cup of coffee and have a chat with them and give them some career advice. And I guess what we were bemoaning was the fact it was very hard to do that, to do justice to all of the requests that we got for that. At that stage, I think we were both on the board of TVNZ. And the idea sort of percolated around, and then we thought we'll give this a go of doing something to help other women in a more efficient way. So long story short, we ended up getting 9 of us together, relatively senior businesswomen in New Zealand, and our idea was really to be able to show women the way that there are many paths to career success, and having a career doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice a successful personal life as well. So that sort of then morphed into the idea of a conference, and we had our very first Bold Steps conference back in 2017. That was directed at career women. So, classically women in their 30s, 40s and beyond who are probably in middle management or in a profession looking for the next big gig or how they can get to, reach their full potential. So we've done that very successfully in the intervening years. We get 1,200 people. We get a fabulous lineup of speakers. It is the most amazing event, so it's coming up in December. What we're using some of the proceeds from those conferences to do is to then give aspiration to younger girls, so Year 13 girls. This is the Dreaming Big piece of it, where we say to them, hey, you're at the cusp of your life, your adulthood, and again, we give a whole day. We don't charge anything for it. The schools now, after 7 or 8 years are sort of, really enthusiastic to get students there. And we put in front of them again people who've got various experiences and can share their wisdom with them.
What's the barrier? Because if you look at, it's not like there's a lack of business initiative with women. I mean, you look at sole traders. Plenty of sole traders are women who are doing incredible work. What are the barriers at the other end, the board level, the CEO level?
Well, I guess when I look back, Ryan, over my 20-odd years, 25 years in executive life and governance, it's very different from what it was. So I agree with you. We've never been short of entrepreneurial women. There's some fabulous women out there, and we put them in front of our conferences as well. But the world has changed in the last 25 years. When I started on boards, being a CEO was unusual for a woman when I was doing it. When I went onto boards, invariably I was the first and only woman on the board. And so it's very different now. We're seeing progression, but we can't rest on our laurels. And I think a number of us are a little bit concerned of the impact of COVID. Some of the impact, we all think flexible working is fabulous, but some of us are quite concerned about the impact that COVID has had on women in their careers. And the fact that we get 1,200 women coming every year to these conferences, and I can tell you, when we open the doors and they walk into the room, the noise is, it's a beautiful noise, but then all the way through the day you can hear a pin drop. So there are a lot of women who are really looking for inspiration and a bit of wisdom to be able to say, well, what am I doing in my life? What do I want to do next, and where do I want to get to? Lots
of debate about how best to tip the balance, tip the scales the other way, because it has been one way for a long time, well, forever. what do you feel or what do you think about quotas, stuff like that?
I don't agree with quotas. I would never join a board as being, to make up a quota. And we don't need, in my humble opinion, every board I'm on is either, somewhere between 40 and 50% women now. But we need to, and the women who are there because they can do the job.
And you don't want men looking around going, oh, is that person there because...
Exactly the point. And we've seen, when we've had foreign speakers come in, they've often talked to us about some of the early quota initiatives and how that actually rebounded. I met Helena Morrissey a number of years ago, who set up the sort of one of the first 25%, 30% groups up in the UK. And she said that what they saw in those jurisdictions was that people were promoting their, sister-in-laws or their mother-in-law or someone onto the board, who would, and that's negative. That backfires terribly.
Undermines everything, doesn't it? So with Dreaming Big, how can Year 13s get involved? What do they need to do to get to sign up? Well,
we've done Auckland, Wellington, Waikato so far. We're doing Christchurch next week. So we've been doing this for a number of years. So it's really the schools we ask the schools to nominate normally 2 girls, and we say, don't give us a head girl and the deputy head, and don't give us a prefect. Give us girls who are showing leadership potential, who might need just that little extra nudge. And again, a couple of times I've sort of ended up with tears streaming down my face at the end because the girls will stand up and say, I didn't even want to come to this. They said I had to come. But it's been so amazing. So if they talk to their teachers, talk to their principals and ask how they can get involved if they're really, really keen to come.
Or the teachers and the principals find the ones that don't want to go and pick them.
Yes.